Welcome, beautiful yogis. Welcome to your practice. Welcome to your body and your breath and your being. So we're going to start today in Supta Baddha Konasana, or recline bound angle pose, and then I'll tell you what the class is all about and we'll set our intention there. So in that posture, you're lying down on your back, the soles of your feet are together and your knees are out wide. You'll just arrange your heels a comfortable distance away from your sits bones so that you feel feeling, but not too much feeling. And then you can place your arms like you were in Shavasana, or maybe they're interlaced across your chest, or sometimes it's nice to really tune into the breath with one hand on the chest and one hand on the belly. Today's class is all about tree pose, or Vrikshasana. And the tree holds so much significance all over the world in every culture. But particularly in the Indian culture, the Ashoka tree is the representation of love. And there's a story about Rama and Sita, who are just a beautiful couple who are madly in love. And Sita is enticed by the evil king Ravana, who entices her with this deer who she begins to follow, and then he kidnaps her. So the deer is kind of the representation of like running after shiny material things. And Ravana is like the ego, right? So he captures her, so that she's captured by the ego. He takes her to this island and he wants to make her one of his wives, and she refuses. She won't even go inside his castle. She sits outside under this Ashoka tree and she prays for Rama. So with her back up against the tree, she repeats over and over and over again, Rama, 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 Rama. And Rama is the representation of universal consciousness, right? She's individual consciousness, Ravana is the ego, and Rama is universal consciousness. So I want you to think about today's class in terms of cultivating your mind to connect with that universal consciousness through the word, or one word, that you move through your being. So if you imagine yourself as the tree, saying that word over and over and over again, you can imagine that word moving through your body and out through your limbs to connect with something greater than. So in the story, Rama recruits Hanuman, the monkey god, and they hear her prayers, right? It's like a GPS signal. And Hanuman comes and rescues her, and all is well, and she is united. Individual consciousness is united with divine consciousness, or universal consciousness, done through one pointed focus on something greater than. So maybe for you, you're choosing that word right now, and that is the intention of your practice. And it could be something simple like love. Whatever it is, get clear about it and just begin to repeat it to yourself over and over and over again. And we'll use this word throughout the practice as the reminder that we always have the power to connect to something greater. When we get lost, when we're on that island, we always have the power to connect back through our mind, through our word, through our intention. Okay, so let's play a little bit with tree pose lying down now. So we'll extend our legs out long, and I want you to bring your hands to your hip points. All right, then we'll just bring the legs together and bend the right knee, step the sole of the foot down pretty close to the left shin. All right, now from here, what I want you to do is start to drop the right knee out towards the side. And what I want you to notice is when this right hip starts to drop lower than the left hip, okay? And you're just gonna stop there. And you're also gonna notice, normally we can't even just get the knee down to the ground because then the whole left hip lifts. All right? And then connect this right foot with the left shin. All right? Now you can start to slide the leg up higher and notice if the right hip lifts up closer towards your shoulder. So what we want to do is keep the hips in neutral, the hips stay level, right? And then we just notice where that right leg is. This is going to give us information for our tree pose. So many times we're taught tree where the leg is way up and we think the knee should be way out. But what I want us to do here is identify our true north or our true tree pose so that when we're standing, we know where to go, all right? And then from there, I want you to engage the left leg, flex the left foot, and press the legs into one another. And then reach your arms up high. Here we are, tree pose. Find your word, repeat it over and over and over again. Feel it move through your body, feel it move and expand out through the branches of your arms. Good, then hug the right knee into the chest, give it a nice big squeeze. And then we'll just pedal this right leg out. So like you're riding a bicycle, and I want you to flex and point your foot as you do that. Flex and point, doesn't matter where, how you're doing that, whether it's on the way up or the way down. And then let's reverse that. Same thing, keep flexing and pointing. Good, then the next time the knee is towards the chest, pause. Take the knee across the body into a spinal twist. Arms out to a T or cactus arms. Remember, this right knee probably isn't going to go all the way down. That's okay. You could prop it with your hand. You could prop it with a blanket or a block, or maybe you just allow it to hang. And then we'll take the gaze and shift it over the right shoulder. Now, you might just keep this right arm extended or in a cactus arm. Or you might see about doing some half circles, reaching the right arm overhead and then down towards your legs. And remember, when we're moving, it's with the breath. So the breath initiates the movement. Good, then we'll come back through center, extend the legs out long, and we'll just do our tree pose on the other side. So the legs are together. You'll bend the left knee, step the sole of the foot down. Hands to the hip points. Start to drop the left knee out towards the left. Only drop it so far as the hips stay level. So you'll notice if I put the knee down, then my right hip lifts. So I'm just going to keep it level. Then I'm going to bring the left foot into the right shin. And I'm going to see about moving it up. And where my left hip starts to lift towards my left shoulder, I want to take it back down just a little bit so I can stay in level. Then flex your right foot and press the legs against one another. Now, if it happens to be that the foot is right at the knee joint, because we're usually told not to, press into the knee joint, I want you to be aware it's okay as long as you're not like pushing the left leg in and not pushing back with the right leg. If that right leg is flexed and strong, you're pressing into the foot, you're pressing back, you're probably not going to hurt the joint. Just be aware. Okay, and then from there, we'll extend the arms up. We'll find our word. We'll connect. Maybe you even imagine yourself as the tree, as the one who is connecting earth and the heavens. Good, then hug the left knee into the chest. Give it a nice big squeeze. And we'll start our bicycles with the left leg. Also flexing and pointing the left foot. Other direction. Left knee back to the chest, cross it over the body, take your arms out to a T or cactus arms. And then again, this left arm might stay extended in a cactus arm position, or you could play with doing half circles here. I really like how that feels on my shoulder joint. It feels healthy, feels helpful. As always, you're the agent of your practice. So what I'm saying are suggestions. They're just kind of like guideposts, and then you decide. And we just want to make sure that we are making choices from a really clear place, like noticing when we make choices to go further into things or to not go as far into things, and where that's coming from. All right, bring it on back to center, and we're gonna come all the way up to an all fours position. And then once you get to all fours, we'll just take a few rounds of cat-cow. So inhale to tilt the tail, drop the belly, lift through the heart and chest. Exhale to point the tail down, navel towards spine, chest towards pubic bone. Push the floor away, let the head drop. Sometimes on my inhale, as I come up, I like to lift my lower jaw over my upper jaw. It feels like I get into my neck. One more round. Good. Then we're going to come back to sit, hands behind you, feet out in front of you. You're going to plant your hands behind you, and just depends on you. We're going to go into an upward facing table. So sometimes the hands are in line with the shoulders. Sometimes that's too hard on our shoulders. So you might walk the hands out a little bit more. So again, just knowing you can play with that range. You can also play with turning the hands out, can feel a little bit more gentle on your shoulders. So from there, we're just going to press through the feet, lift through the hips. See if we can get the knees over the heels. And I want to make sure I'm not dumping into my shoulders, but I'm pushing through my finger pads and lifting. It's like I'm trying to spiral my biceps towards my feet. And then maybe you even let the head fall. Hold. And then lower down. And then flip the hands upside down. So you're on the tops of the hands, palms face up, fingers face away from you. Maybe lean back, maybe move from side to side. So just countering that for the wrists. Good, and we'll do it one more time. So find your hands back, palms face down, fingers facing your feet. Bend your knees, lift. Now maybe you stay right here like we did in our upward facing table, or maybe you work a little bit of some triceps, strength stuff. So we'll lower the hips and then lift. So I'm bending the elbows, lowering the hips and lifting, and really squeeze through the triceps. If you're with me, we're gonna do another 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, push, and lower down. Extend the legs, flip the hands upside down. We'll counter the wrists once again. Good, then cross the legs, come forward, come to all fours, and we're gonna go into a downward facing dog position. That's that upside down V shape. And we'll just start to pedal out the feet a little bit. Maybe come on the tops of the feet, stretch out the front of the feet and the ankles. Press back and down through the heels for the calves. Shift the hips from side to side. And then inhale to lift your left leg, and we'll do a few hip circles here. So think of your knee as the driver, like you're drawing circles with your knee, and then take it in the other direction. And then into our pigeon pose. So the left knee is going to come to the outside of the left hand. My shin, or the lower half of my leg, is on a steep diagonal, meaning my right hip is directly over my left heel. I'm going to walk the right leg back. Once I get there, I can determine if that's enough feeling or if more feeling would be beneficial. And if more feeling would be beneficial, then I can take the shin and make it more parallel to the front of the mat. Be very mindful of the knee. And make sure that the knee is outside of the hip, right? And then from there, just check that back leg, make sure it's not sickling to one side or the other. You can stay up on the hands. You can make fists, right? You could come down onto the forearms. You could extend all the way out. Place the head down on the mat or on a prop. And when we find these postures that we're holding, it's the perfect place to work with the mind and to come back to the intention. So just like Sita, we can think Rama, 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 Rama. It's really fun for me because I named my cat Rama. So I get to think about how my cat's this little god who came here to be my guardian angel. All right, now we're gonna come back to all fours. So to do that, you'll walk your hands in, tuck your right toes, slide your right knee in, take your left knee back, and we'll move into a puppy dog pose. I'm gonna do it one arm at a time. So I'll start by coming down onto my left forearm and taking my right arm forward and then leaning over into the right shoulder. And then coming back up, bringing the right forearm down, extend the left arm, lean over into the left shoulder. And maybe you do that back and forth. Or maybe next time you walk both arms forward and come into a full puppy dog pose. I'm trying to learn words in Spanish for the yoga practice, so this would be the cuchoro posición. Cuchoros are the puppy dogs. All right, come on back up. And then we will go into our pigeon other side. So come back to your downward facing dog. You might give yourself a few more pedal outs. And then inhale to lift the right leg. Couple circles here. The knee is the driver. And then pigeon right side. In my coaching business, I do a lot of work with thoughts and thought work. And I know in the yoga practice, it's all about kind of like stopping the thoughts or saying the same thing, like using that japa mantra over and over, like Rama, Rama, Rama. If you find yourself unable to do that, like totally normal, a helpful thing that I find is when I can't stop the thoughts, or like I never can stop the thoughts, honestly. But sometimes I can't even do like the japa mantra, like my mind, I'll just keep having thoughts. But what I find helpful there is to be the one who's choosing the thought. So if I keep having a thought or noticing a repetitious thought, is to just be able to say, is this thought helpful? Is this thought adding to the quality of my moment? Is this thought helping my yoga practice? Does this thought keep me tuned into my body? Right? So just giving myself like really easeful coaching on no judgment. Like that's just not happening in my mind today, but here's how I can coach it into a space where I get to receive the benefit. All right, from here, we will walk ourselves back up. We're gonna just fall off onto this right side and find a wide leg seated position. So you'll bring your legs out wide, flex your feet, And then we'll play a little bit with cat-cow here. So as you reach forward, you're gonna round your spine, belly button back towards the spine, and then we'll swim our arms back, lift through the heart and chest. And we'll just do that. Swimming the arms and finding flexion and extension in the spine. Linking it with the breath. Good. Next time that you're swimming the arms back, pause, clasp the hands behind you, and then see about reaching the held hands further away from you. And that might be plenty, like right here might be plenty. Or you could start to tilt forward. And then you might even start to lift the held hands up a little bit more. So it just depends on how much feeling is enough feeling. So we can let go of thinking like, oh, being lower is better. No, better is better. Whatever's better for your body is better. And then we'll bring it back up. Hands to the hips and a few circles. Circles in the other direction. And then lean over towards the right. Maybe bring this right hand down. And the left arm can either go overhead or maybe you bend the elbow and place the hand behind you. So for me, when I'm making this about the side stretch, when I bring my arm overhead, sometimes that has me turning down, which also can be a great stretch. But when I'm just truly making it about my side body, when I bring this arm behind me, it helps me keep the heart and chest open. And then we'll just move it to the other side. You know, sometimes this starts to crush the neck, or keeping it up feels like a lot of work. So we always just be clear about what's the intention of the posture, and then how can I feed that? And back through center. Cross the legs. Come forward, and we're gonna go from downward facing dog to standing at the top of the mat. So once you get to down dog, we're not gonna hold, we're just gonna walk it to the top of the mat and rise up to stand in our mountain pose. Okay, so now we're going to work into our full-on tree pose. So you're gonna stand facing the front of your mat, but I'm gonna stand facing you just so you can really see this. So from mountain pose, we'll just step our feet together, all right? Then bring your hands to the hips. We'll start by coming up onto the left tiptoes, and then I want you to really strengthen through the right leg. So this tends to happen when we're balancing on one leg, the hip goes out and we kind of dump. So I want you to get really strong in this leg, engage the quad, push down through the foot. Nice. Now you'll start to turn the left knee out, and you can remember when you were lying down what that was like, and so you'll have an idea of the position that's within your range of motion that will be your tree pose. So it could be right here. You might not even pick the foot up, or you might start to pick it up and lift it and kind of remember where you had the foot. Good. Now, I like to take tree pose without actually attaching the leg. It can be helpful. It can be really helpful to find balance when we find that opposition. So you might do that. But I like to really explore the strength of this right leg and the range of motion of this left leg. And I feel like it helps me expand my range of motion when I'm actively trying to bring that knee out versus using my other leg to do it, right? And when I do something like this, so I just want to show you, this is kind of what we're shown, right? My hips, this left hip is above my right hip, and now my hips are turned. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not doing anything bad to my body. It's just I'm teaching the posture of tree pose. So that's, the alignment is that the hips are level, okay? And then we'll grow our limbs. We'll find our Rama, the gaze, the drishti, 7 to 8 feet in front of you at an unmoving spot on the floor. Turn the pinkies slightly in. As you reach the fingertips away from you, you Continue to draw the armpits down or slightly engage your lats. All right, from here we're gonna go into figure 4. So you might need to step that left foot down, give your hips a little shake out, then cross left ankle over right knee, hands through prayer, bring it down to figure 4. Pause and breathe. From our figure 4, standing split, unravel the left leg, take it back and up, bring the hands down. Let the upper body relax. You can start with level hips, right? Technically, figure 4 is with level hips, and we're working on lifting the left leg. So you're like engaging, pressing the heel back and lifting through the hamstring. Personally, for my standing split, I like getting the stretch in the back of my right leg, which means I completely tilt the hips and the pelvis, lift and bend the knee, kind of like 3-leg dog. So you just kind of like, again, coming back to like, well, what am I accomplishing here? Or what is the goal of this posture? All right, let's take the left leg back, land the ball mound of the foot, plant this left hand to the inside of the right foot. Right knee is over the right ankle. Strong scissoring action in the legs. Rotate the spine to the right. Lunge, twist. Good, now bring the right hand to the inside of the right foot. Anchor the left foot. And then we're gonna go into triangle pose. So you'll sweep this left hand up the body as you start to straighten the right leg. You'll probably find a lift, right? Like if I stay way down here, my body starts to turn down. So if I find a lift, then I can have my core body parallel to the side wall. My arms in a T. And then reverse triangle. Use the core body to lift. Find level with the hips first, then flip the right palm to the sky and reverse your triangle. I like to slide my left hand across my hips to see if I can keep them level. It still feels like I'm not quite sure. After, 13 years of practice now, the hips still confuse me. All right, now we're gonna take this side angle back. Turn the right foot in. Left foot towards the back of the mat. Your upper body's already set up. Bend into the left knee, left forearm to the quad. Make sure you're not dumping into the forearm, but think about pushing the quad back up into the forearm as you ground down through the back foot and engage the quad and lift up through the kneecap. Good, straighten the left leg, bring the hands up to high prayer, turn the left foot in, right foot forward, bend into the right knee, bring the arms to a T, warrior 2. Hips are level, shoulders are over hips. From warrior 2, goddess squat, hands meet at high prayer. I'm gonna heel toe this right foot in, just a one heel toe, and then turn the left foot heel in. So heels are in, toes are out, tail down, heart and chest up. So the energy of my feet is turning out, right? So my knees aren't collapsing in, but they're reaching back. Maybe we pulsate. Here he is right now. Rama has arrived. He must have heard us. Sweet boy. He just started going outside, so he's so happy. He loves it. Kazuko, his sister, she doesn't want to be out there, but she doesn't like when he's out there. Let's hold for another 3, 2, 1. Oof. Straighten the legs, reach the hands to high prayer, fold forward. We're not going to hold here. Halfway lift, walk it forward, heel toe the right foot more towards the right, so the foot is outside of the hip, lizard pose. You might stay with the back leg lifted, or you could drop the left knee down. Hey, bub. All right, from here we will take a flow. So if you've got a flow, go for it. If you're unfamiliar with flow, just step this right knee back. Rock your heart and chest forward, bend your elbows so the elbows move straight back along your body. Keep your upper body in a plank. Press the tops of your feet and your pubic bone down. Find a lift for baby cobra. Back to all fours, downward facing dog, and then we'll walk ourselves to the front of the mat and find mountain pose. Come back to your intention. Then bring your feet together. Okay? So from here, we're going to balance on the left foot. Engage the left leg, push down through that foot. Bring your hands to your hips. Come up onto the tiptoes of the right foot and start to turn the right knee out. So remember, my knee's just on a diagonal. And then I'm going to see if I already started doing it. Notice I'm dumping into the left hip. Nice and strong there as I start to see about lifting the right leg. When I find my spot, I'm either going to choose to press it into the leg or keep it slightly held away from the leg. Okay? And then from there, you can expand your arms and grow your limbs. Gaze on moving spot on the floor. You want to challenge the gaze. Look up, close your eyes. Maybe next round we'll kind of move our branches in the wind. So you can think about all of the wonderful things about a tree. I used to do an activity with my kindergarten students where they would choose their values, like what's important to them, and then we'd make that the roots of the tree. So they all got to choose, and then we'd write that out and make that the roots of the tree. That's what holds us steady when the wind is blowing. All right, into figure 4, cross right ankle over left knee. Start to bend into the left knee. And then standing split, unravel the leg, take it back and up, upper body comes down. Again, you might be working on keeping level hips and the strength of the right leg lifting, or you might be bending the knee, thinking more like 3-leg dog. Play with balance here. One or both hands can go to the left ankle. Step the ball mound of the right foot back. Right hand to the inside of the left foot, left knee over left ankle, rotate to the left, extend the left arm. Lunge, twist. Good. Left hand comes to the inside of the left foot. Anchor the right foot down. Bring this right hand up the body, find a lift triangle pose. Technically, the gaze is up in triangle. Like, it just depends. I have, 5 pounds of hair on my head, and that just like cranks my neck. So I normally, like if I wasn't teaching and looking at you, I'd be looking down for my triangle pose or forward. And then reverse your triangle, lift. Good, now we're set up for side angle back. In the upper body, we'll just turn the left foot in, right foot towards the back of the mat, bend into the knee, right forearm to right quad, find opposition. Hands meet at high prayer, straighten the right leg, turn the right foot in, left foot towards the back of the mat, bend into the knee, warrior 2, towards the front of your mat. And now we're going into our goddess squat. So hands meet at high prayer. I'm just going to heel toe this left foot in a little bit, then turn my left heel in, toes are out. Maybe here we pulsate a little bit for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift. Turn the feet in, fold. Halfway lift. Walk it forward. As you do, heel toe the left foot more towards the left. The foot will come outside of the hip. Lizard pose. Think like you're trying to draw your left heel towards your right toes. Trying to tighten up that diagonal line. Good. Then when you're ready, time to take a flow. If you're choosing to take one, this can always be a space where you choose to take a child's pose or grab a sip of water. And then we're going to meet standing back at the top of the mat. We're going to run through that fluidly now. So we drew out the roadmap. We know where we're going. All right, mountain pose. Balancing on the right leg. So whatever variation of tree pose that you're taking. Find your intention, repeat your word, feel it move through your whole body. Maybe you blow in the wind. I got a ceiling in the way here. And then figure 4. From figure 4, standing split. Take the left leg back and up, fold forward. Lunge twist. Plant the ball mound of the left foot down. Rotate to the right. Right hand to the inside of the left foot. Anchor the left foot, triangle pose. Reverse your triangle. Side angle back. Just switch your lower body. From side angle back, warrior 2 front. Goddess squat. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Lizard pose. Okay, now some of you might be ready to take it into a flow. Some of you might be like, oh, I'd like to add this posture on. It's also a place we can start to work on kundanyasana and arm balance. If you're into that type of thing, this is where the right shoulder would start to work underneath the right leg. All right, and then the hands plant. Right, so from there, I don't have enough room with this tree, we'll see, but this right leg lifts and extends. I come forward, I bend the elbows, the back leg pops. Okay? And then from there, wherever you are, take a flow, and we'll move through this one final time. So we'll make our way back to the top of the mat. Mountain pose. Bring your feet together. Tree pose, balancing on the left leg. So whatever variation you're taking. Figure 4. Standing split. Lunge twist. Step the ball mound of the right foot back. Plant your right hand, rotate to the left. Triangle pose. Left hand to inside of right foot, anchor right foot, rise. Reverse your triangle. Remember, upper body's ready, just changing those legs up, side angle back. Warrior 2 front. Goddess squat. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Lizard pose front. Again, this might be where you hold lizard. You could work like I talked on kundanyasana, and like it might just be like if you're like, yeah, arm balancing is something that I'd like to get into or I'm interested in or want to work towards, you just start to move this left shoulder underneath the left leg. Another nice option might be stepping this right foot up, finding your squat. Could work a crow pose from there. And then we'll take one final flow of the practice. And we are going to meet reclined down on our backs. Once you get down onto your back, hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Extend your legs up into the air. Give them a nice good shake out. Flex and point. Circle the ankles. Other direction. Good. Cross right knee over left. Deep cross. Bend the knees. Separate the feet. Bring that system towards your chest. Take your hands to your outer knees, your outer shins, or your outer ankles, and draw the legs away from one another. Release the arms. Take them out to a T or cactus arms. Set this left foot down. And just give yourself a few windshield wipers with the deeply crossed legs. So you might not go all the way down. That might be too much on the spine. You might just, I like to think of it like a ladder, like I'm going down one step at a time from side to side. And then unravel the legs. Give them another good shake out. Left knee over right. Bend the knees deep. Deep cross, feet are separated, hands to outer knees, outer shins, outer ankles. And we'll step the sole of the right foot down, arms to a T or cactus arms. And then again, a few windshield wipers with the cross legs. And then into our final rest, our Shavasana, our corpse pose. Legs are about mats with distance. Arms about 6 inches off the sides of the body. Palms are face up. This does not need to be how you take corpse pose. This is just the posture itself. So, sometimes I like crocodile if I'm feeling just vulnerable. So I like to face down and put my head on my hands, but just find a position that feels like it requires no physical effort from you. And then come back to your intention word, your Rama. And I want you to walk yourself through your body repeating that word. So you'll take that word into your feet, into your ankles, into your shins, your calves, your knees, your thighs, your hamstrings, your hips, your core body, up through your chest and your shoulders, down your upper arms into your lower arms, your wrists, your hands, your fingers. Breathe that word back up your arms, chest, neck, back of your throat to your mouth, cheeks, backs of the eyes, temples, forehead, crown of head, as if the crown was a lotus and it's blossoming open, and you feel that word just kind of flow out of you and expand up into the ether as you are now connected to something greater than. Stay here as long as you can. This is the integration. This is the healing. Thank you so much for practicing with me. It is such an honor to do the yogas with fellow yogis and have the opportunity to connect in this way online. I'm so grateful that I get to be here in Guatemala and you get to be wherever you are, and we get to share this beautiful practice together. My heart sees and feels and smiles to yours. Namaste.